Well, that was interesting. Hey guys, welcome back to another stream. I'm actually going to be right back again, sorry. I'm not going to change the scene at all. I don't know what's going on with my music today. It's a Lo-Fi Girl, and I use Lo-Fi Girl because I trust Lo-Fi Girl, but obviously Lo-Fi Girl and I are not going to be getting along today, so I'm going to I'm going to turn on something. Hopefully there's no issues. Hopefully there's no, I have to make sure it's something that's more than an hour long, too. Hopefully there won't be ads in the middle, which is another reason why I love Lo-Fi Girl, because there's no ads in the middle, but... Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Pumpkin Wonderland. Jazz. Alright, hopefully... Alright, I'm gonna mute this ad real quick, skip it while I can. Alright. I like this. Okay. But I do need to be right back, so I will be right back in just a couple seconds. Forgot to do a couple things while I was setting up. Okay, but yeah, I will BRB. Microphone's gonna be off, although I'm not gonna change the scene at all. Alright, sorry about that. It's streaming these last few days, well, I guess last 2 days has been very interesting. I will say that. But I do want to thank everyone for their patience as I wrangle all the tech and all the things, and I just realized music isn't playing again. Okay, come on. What is going on? I don't know what's going on with music in me today, and I've been relying on YouTube so much I don't have Spotify or anything like this on the new system, so yikes. Let's try. So it's gotta be YouTube then, because it's a different user. But I've been watching Court earlier with the Sarah Boone trial. And there weren't any issues with that. Let's try something else. So I'm going to try a different browser. I did test Lo-Fi Girl on another browser earlier today, and that also ran into the issue. So it probably won't fix the issue at all. Oh. Yes, I am whining. Sorry, not sorry. I really don't like this. I'm gonna have to figure something else out later. 12 hours of spooky Halloween jazz. Let's see if this one plays for more than 2 minutes. Skipping through the ads. Alright. Let's see how this goes. This one's not live, it's actually an upload, so fingers crossed this works. Okay, and this channel, just to give it a shout out, is Jazz Cafe Ambiance. Alright, so hopefully the technical issues are out of the way. 15 minutes into the start of the stream. I do want to go ahead and give my usual shout outs, my, little PSAs and all that jazz. If you've been a follower of mine for a while, then you know that I typically don't like to run ads. However, my life situation has changed to a point where I do need to run ads. So I will be running 1 minute of ads. Let me go back. I always forget this part. Obviously, if you're here on Twitch, you would have seen the pre-roll. But in about 30 minutes, technically 16 minutes now, you'll get a minute full of ads, and then there will be another minute of ads in about an hour, and so on and so forth. And then at the end of the stream, I have 3 minutes worth of ads just to help me basically get that ad revenue. YouTube viewers, you don't get that just because, well, I'm not monetized on YouTube, and I don't think any lives get ad revenue. It's the VOD portions that get the ad revenue. But either way, I don't get ads from it, so don't worry about that. In either case, if you do want to support me, again, YouTube, I'm not monetized yet, so there's no super members, super stickers, or anything like that. Excuse me. Twitch, you can throw me bits, you can be a subscriber to the channel, you can use your Twitch Prime if you have it to subscribe. And then for both sites, if you scroll down to the description, there's a link for my Ko-fi page. You can donate there, and there's a few extra other things too. I won't get too into the weeds about that today. If you have questions about it though, let me know. I've got commissions and things for sale, in addition to just straight up donations. But without further ado, I am going to go ahead and get to writing. This story is pretty much almost done. I feel like I'm in the back third now. Hold on, this music is relaxing, but it's loud for me, so I'm gonna turn it down. If it goes down any lower, it's gonna be muted, so I'm gonna turn it down on my headset. Let me know if it's too loud for you guys, though. Alright. Make sure I'm where I can see the chat easily. StreamerBot combines my chats into one window, so I can see it here. And let me just double check my streamer bot to make sure that everything's connected, because it wasn't connected yesterday and that was kind of embarrassing. Yeah, everything looks good now. Okay, cool. So now we're going back to the story. Our protagonist has been riddled with nightmares. She's finally went to a spiritual shop, basically to figure out how to get rid of them. The person she spoke with says that there's probably a carving in her room, based off of what she described. There's probably a carving under her rug that is letting these nightmares in. She can't get rid of them without getting rid of the carving, so her best bet is to smudge, etc., etc., and that's where we left off. Alright. Chapter 16. Yeah, I think it'll be about 20 chapters before we end. Did I spell chapter incorrectly? What's going on here? Why are you like this? Nope. Oh, I did spell it incorrectly and it fixed it for me. That's what happened. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Alrighty. I get loot. Anyway. Let's scroll all the way up. Emily made her way back to, back in her room. Emily set the bag of smudging materials onto her desk and spun to assess her bed situation. The faded paint looked almost speckled on the wood. The legs, the faded paint of the head and footboards looked almost speckled as the wood grain shone through. The legs of the heavy wooden frame rested heavily on the beige and rose carpet beneath it. The carpet would be, the carpet hadn't moved, or had been there since Emily was a young girl and received this set of furniture from her grandmother. The idea was, she had always thought, that the carpet was there to reduce, to avoid the floor being scratched from the bed, not the bed posts, the feet of the bed, from the feet of the bed.
Your father knows about saving.
And there's ads.
I've had since boot camp.
And I just saved on my car insurance for driving.
Skip. Ay, ay, ay. I might try this in another browser if this keeps up. But anyway, where were we? Yeah. The idea was, she'd always thought, that the carpet was there to avoid the flipping and scratch from the feet of the bed. Bed. Maybe it was to hide the gouges or carvings, as Lisa had called them. Nope, Kaylee had called them. That were beneath the furniture. At first, Emily wasn't so sure about the things that woman had said back in the crystal shop. It all seemed outlandish. Energy laying in something nefarious laying in wait for just the right energy in order to wake up and refuse to leave. Still, however, there were no other explanations that she could find for the persistent and invasive nightmares for both her and any guests in the room alike. And excuse me. Sorry about that. There were no others that she could find for the persistent and invasive nightmares of both her and any guest in the room alike. As she removed the mattress from the bed, carefully tilting the old box spring, carefully tilting it onto its side against her free wall, she pondered what the instigating what the incident could have been that triggered the nightmares to occur. They started so long ago. She nearly forgot. They started so long ago, way back when she was in high school. She could barely recall how they started. All she recalled was that at one point in the middle of a week, she was stressing out because she didn't get any sleep the week before, and she recognized that it was because practically every night, because every time she fell asleep, she would end up with those terrible dreams. So what had occurred during that time frame? that would lead up to the drains. Her dresser, her room had changed before that, but it felt like it wasn't close enough in time to be any sort of instigating event. As Emily's hands grasped the foot of the bed, and hold on a sec. Oh, cool. Sorry, I just got some pretty good news for once. I'll have to I'm gonna have to check an email real quick. Don't worry. Alright, so I've been told to keep an eye on my inbox. Nothing's come through yet. But yeah. We've got some exciting news, so that makes me happy. But yeah, let's get back to the writing. When the ad starts for Twitch in about a minute or so, then I will go ahead and check my mail again. Alright, let's see. So what occurred during the time frame that would lead up? Not dreams, nightmares. Her dresser. Got to the foot of the bed, and the young woman got at the foot of the bed, fingertips brushing against the indent of one of the carved flowers that decorated the border. The young woman paused. Emma? Although she was about to begin moving the bed away from its current position, the plan was to rotate it around so that she could at least lift half of the carpet up and see what the carving looked like. She instead released the bed and stood up, teeth working worriedly at her lower lip as she got back to her teenage years. Alright, checking my email real quick again. Nothing new yet. Not even spam. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so I'm going to read this real quick. Two days. Perfect. Perfect. Hold on. I got to fill out a form. Okay. Sorry, guys. But trust me, this means that if I this means that if things go well, and we all know that that's a very big if, then and I won't have to worry about ads and stuff like that much longer. But yeah, that's exciting. All right, sorry about that. Back to the story. All right, an hour 45 minutes. Okay, yeah, I'm obviously distracted today. Sorry, guys. Right. Grandma, she asked, whispering, although she was about to begin to move bed away from its position. The plan. Her life as a teenager wasn't very exciting. She enjoyed reading. She struggled at school, especially math. But managed to do well enough to graduate without any issues. She decided to go to college and work in the law field. When she was in her junior year of high school, she figured that if she was going to go through several years of school and rack up some debt, she would definitely choose a worthwhile profession that didn't involve looking at people's innards on a regular basis. Excuse me. Looking at people's innards on a regular basis. Nothing about the short version of... Nothing about the summary of her life of higher. Her life as a teenager stood out in particular. Nothing about the summer stood in particular. But it was the detail of her grandmother that she wanted to try to recall. Dolores, her grandmother's name. Her paternal grandmother's name was very close to Emily. Emily was the firstborn daughter of the entire generation for both her mother and father's side, for both sides. I don't know how to better her mother's and father's sides of the family. I'll research how to make that flow better later. Editing! That's a emote I should probably add, is editing. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Play with my emotes real quick. Yeah. Cat on the keyboard. Unfortunately, I locked my I've gotten better at locking my office so the cats don't come in. But sometimes they'll sneak in. They're good at that. Anyway, sorry. Again, I'm very distracted today. Alright, Dolores, her paternal grandmother's name, was very close to Emily. Emily was the firstborn daughter of the entire sides of the family. So she was often given a lot of attention from the grandparents, of each side. As more children were born, as Emily's cousins were born, many were boys. So Emily,
All Free Clear is the #1 brand of laundry detergent recommended by dermatologists for sensitive skin.
Pair commerce. Interesting. Anyway, where were we? Okay, as Emily's cousins were born, many were boys, so Emily remained the first few were boys, so Emily remained the precious little girl in many people's eyes. On her mother's side, though, she eventually had a couple of female cousins. So the novelty of being the only granddaughter wore off quickly for that side of the family. On her father's side, there still weren't any female cousins for quite the longest time, so she was doted on quite heavily, especially by Dolores. especially by Dolores. Ballet school, shopping trips, etiquette for how a young woman must act, and the princess furniture. Okay. Whew. Yeah, the princess furniture. This was all thanks to her grandmother. And as a result, not because of the gifts, but because of the amount of time. And as a result of not the gifts, but the amount of time spent together, Emily and her grandmother became very close. So, when Emily was in high school, she was doing her best to try to find a friend group that she was able to fit well into. She was able to fit into. Skibbity toilet reference? Okay, I don't know what that is, but I'm glad it's funny. Yeah, I don't understand what that is, sorry. When I was in high school, she was friendly with many people, but she didn't really have a group of people she could call a friend group. No one to really spend the night with, or go to the movies with. No one to really go to the movies with, or spend the night, or go have a sleepover. She felt like she just couldn't click with anyone. She just couldn't click with anyone. She felt like she just couldn't click with anyone. Oh, how do I want to merge these two together? I'm having a bit of a time doing that. So when Emily was in high school, she was doing her best to
I
try.
used to spend dozens
Dang it.
of hours every single week proofreading. I was
SMH. Excuse me. Alright, so where was I? Alright, so when Emily was in high school, she was doing her best to try to find a... She was trying to find people. She didn't really have many people she could call a friend group. No, to go, or go sleep over. She felt like she just couldn't click with anyone. So... she did get an invitation to go to a party with some of her classmates. She jumped at the chance. What she didn't take into account when she accepted the invitation, however, is that it was also the same night that her family was celebrating her grandmother's 60th. Yeah, we'll go with that. 60th birthday party. There was a lot of argument between her there's a lot of argument about whether or not she could go spend time with these friends, or whether family should come first. Of course, Emily opted for friends while her parents argued for the family. In the end, her grandmother is the one who stepped in and made the final decision. Emily is a grown woman. If she wants to spend the evening with her friends, she certainly can. As growing into a young woman, she certainly can. She will just have to make it up later. At the time, Emily was ecstatic with how cool, with how understanding her grandmother seemed to be. Of course, she and her grandmother could hang out and have a girls' day. The day afterwards, there was no reason why they couldn't. Emily would have the best of both worlds. Emma would have the best of both worlds, although she wouldn't have to miss out on an evening with her family. Emily would have the best of both worlds that weekend. Except that decision her grandmother made would be the last decision that could have been made. Except that, I want to say declaration. Yeah, I spelled that wrong. Her grandmother made on her behalf. Would have been the last one that could have been made. While Emily was dancing to high-paced music and laughing with her other friends, with her new friends, well into the early hours of the evening. Scrolling up. A car accident claimed Dolores' life. The pain of realizing she never got to make up for the birthday party. She got to make up for missing the party. Began to well up in Emily again. As she remembered finding out the next day as soon as she came home. She blamed herself. It's possible her parents would have driven them all home before her grandmother got into the view. She blamed herself. Logically, her grandmother should. Logically, her presence or not would have made no difference in what had occurred. But Emily thought that if she had just been there, what if? But Emily always wondered, what if? At the very least, she missed out on the chance to see her grandmother one last time. Emily closed her eyes.
Kroger Boost just got better. Now you
Oh
can
my
choose from
God,
Disney Plus, Hulu,
Kroger.
ESPN Plus on us.
These ads are going to keep the death of me. I guess it's keeping me grounded though, I guess. Alright. Where was I? Alright. Emily closed her eyes, feeling tears beginning to well in them. She vaguely remembered when she started having nightmares, and it felt like it was around the same time of year that her grandmother passed. It's quite likely it made sense now. Her grief and guilt over losing her grandmother was the triggering emotion. was the triggering emotion. A loss of sleep from the sorrow. Bled into nightmares that were likely fueled by sorrow. And then morphed into more nefarious nightmares fueled by whatever curse haunted her room. Whew. That was unexpected. A hot tear rolled down her cheek. It was all connected. Emily? Emily? Her mother's voice came from the doorway. Soft and filled with concern. And filled with worry. Mom? Blinking, Emily opened her eyes. Opened her eyes again. Mom? Let's rephrase that. Emily opened her eyes again, blinking away the wetness until she could see the distinct shape of her mother. The older woman looked very, very anxious and held her phone in her hand. Let's rephrase that. Held her. Had held up to her ear, feeling anxious. Nope, not feeling anxious, looking. She expected her mother to say something, to ask if she was okay. Instead, she asked, "Have you seen your cousins, Oscar and..." I think I named them Oscar and Ryan? Oops. Have you seen your cousins, Oscar and Ryan? I don't remember. I need to create a family tree for this short story. Matilda or Louise. I haven't seen either of them since yesterday afternoon. That question brought a frown to Emily's lips. Already torn, already lightly abused from the worrying that she brought a frown to Emily's lips. A flashback to the nightmare she had the previous night a scene of a car crash. Played back in her mind. A party, people going too hard, sweat becoming a swimming pool, and drowning. Followed by a vehicle plunging, not head first, plunging into the deep end of the pool. People drowning. And ended with Mary Jo referenced their parents while asking her question. The question brought up around Emily's lips. A scene in the nightmare she had the previous night played in the back of her mind. A party. People going too hard. A party. People dancing until they dropped. They were going to some Black Friday parties. I saw them while they were on their way out of the neighborhood yesterday. To some clubs. Black Friday party specials. Or something like that. Clubs with party specials. Ay ay ay. There we go. Ay, 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 ay. Excuse me. Alright. I saw them while they were on there. They were going to some place like or something like that. She explained. I didn't get they didn't say where they were going to, though. She answered, her voice wavering as she, the more she talked. The more she talked, the more she spoke. There we go. The more she spoke, the more she recalled last night's nightmare. The more she spoke, the more she recalled from last night's nightmare. The more she recalled, the more certain she was that at least Oscar was in the nightmare. The nightmares hadn't been predictive of anything before. Alright, so we got a couple things that we gotta do here with this. Creating tension here, obviously, with this. But oh hey, my word count's a palindrome. 22022. Nice. Okay, stretchy stretch. Okay. Scooching my chair in. Excuse me. The nightmares hadn't been predicted with anything before. Would they start now? Emily tried to reassure. Alright. Mary Jo her head slowly and turned away, speaking into the phone, relaying what Emily had shared with her into the phone. She must have been speaking with her parents. Emily and her mother disappear away from the door frame. Emily placed a hand on the foot back onto the foot of her bed and tried to reassure herself. The nightmare hadn't been pretty good. Why would they start being that way now? She had just seen them yesterday. And everything she knew about dreams, people, things that you've recently had an interaction with, could and often would make an appearance. We've had any interaction with in the last several months make an appearance in any dream. The nightmare wouldn't. The nightmare shouldn't be an exception. It only stood out because it was a nightmare and because they are missing today. Emily glanced at her clock. Emily glanced at her clock. Noting how late the afternoon it was already. It was odd that they listened, but they would likely be back. At the very least, Oscar was reliable. I would make sure they came home. Home in one piece. Ah, misspelled piece.
To get started in data analytics,
Really?
you don't need a experience or a degree. The Google Data
ahead and see if this actually works. I'll switch browsers. Give me one sec, guys. I'll hear a little bit of weird noise as it opens because, well, that's just what. Oh, it didn't make any weird noise. Cool, cool, cool. Sorry about that. All right. So the goal, hopefully there won't be any ads. I think this browser has blocker built in. If I get ads, then I'm just gonna cry. That's about it. All right, back to the writing though. Probably not going to finish the story today, honestly. Emily glanced at her clock, noting how late in the afternoon it was already. It was thought that they were missing. They'll be back at the very least. That's what she kept telling herself. She had to believe it. Right now, especially after recalling what happened to her grandmother, she could not bear the thought of losing any more family members to things that could have, potentially should have been avoided. Let's just get this done, she whispered, encouraging herself to finish the task she set out to do. Today was the last day. Today was the last day she could get. She would be able to do this before she had to leave. And although she'd be back in less than a month for Christmas Eve and weekend. For Christmas weekend. For the Christmas and New Year's week. She did not trust herself to go through with it, to have the resolve to go through with this in a month, at that time. Plus half the work had already been done with the mattress. Alright, okie dokie. Okay. Just trying to debate how I want to write this next part. Using what little strength she had, Emily ended up moving her bed as she had originally planned, turning it perpendicular parallel to the wall its headboard usually rested against. The carpet beneath it, the beige and rose carpet beneath it, had a layer was not as dusty as she imagined it would be, likely thanks to her mother. It wasn't faded either. Was not faded due to its position away from any sunlight. But it was not as dusty or as dingy as she imagined it would have been. That was likely thanks to her mother's care over the years. All right. Scroll up a little bit. Moment of truth. She once again encouraged herself forward and picked up the edge of the carpet. She hesitated for just a moment. Just a second before lifting the side, that side of the carpet up in one fell swoop. There was dust somehow beneath the carpet that got all kicked up. From the motion after. Nope, apparently yeah. Yeah. Lo-fi girl, you disappointed me. That's fine. I didn't confirm that this browser had an ad blocker. That's probably, well, that's definitely my own fault, but it is what it is. Alright, anyway. We continue. About an hour left. There was dust somehow beneath the carpet that got kicked up after Emily coughed. Prompting Emily to turn her head away from the sudden uptick from the sudden dust cloud. Once it cleared, Emily turned. Once it cleared, just a few moments later, turned her gaze downward to the wooden planks that were hidden by the carpet. She saw the gouges. Eyes scanning for anything nefarious. She saw the gouges. Gorgeous? Nope. Gouges. Just a trio of half circles. Nothing that looked like archaic. Nothing that looked like runes or any sort of incantation. Or any sort of curse. Carving or anything. Just a set of half circles in varying sizes. Nothing that looked like runes or curse carving or anything that indicated paranormal. To Emily, it looked as plain as scuff marks as the scuff from arranging furniture in a room without protection. So this is a big womp womp. Alright, so that's chapter 16. Alright, now let's jump to chapter 17. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, heads up for the Twitch team. There are ads coming in about 4 to 5 minutes for y'all. Okay, let's see. Losing a little strength she had, Emily ended up moving her bed as she had originally planned, turning it parallel to the wall. Its headboard usually rests against. This is stupid, Emily declared, sitting cross-legged on her bed.
Get the most of Grammarly free.
It's Kayla on behalf of Grammarly to tell you all about the free version.
Nope. Emily declared, sitting cross-legged on her bed with the bag of smudging materials inside. Then don't do it. The voice on the other side of the phone, her friend Mallory. stated. But it's also the closest thing out of this. And do it. You're now up. Look, you've waffled for the last 30 minutes. But whether or not you're going to do this, the whole smudge thing, even after you learned that the room might not be cursed after all. Her friend pointed out. I feel like I need to add food to the scene. Just as an homage to the earlier scenes. Like, you've waffled for the last 30 minutes about whether or not you were going to do the whole smudge thing, even after you learned that the room might not be. You already bought all the supplies, might as well just go ahead and do it. What's stopping you? What if it doesn't work? Then nothing changes. If it does, then you might actually get a good night's sleep for once. Emily huffed at her friend's reasoning. I think you might actually get a good night of. Oh yeah, I forgot. Her friend's reasoning. But I'd feel so stupid. No, you wouldn't. How do you know? Because from what you told me, I think you feel stupid right now because you thought that your room was cursed. And it turns out it very likely isn't. It isn't. Emily cut in. Mallory continued as if she didn't hear Emily's interjection. Scrolling up. But it doesn't change that you've been getting nightmares. The smudging can actually probably help. But the smudging might not help. Like I said, it wouldn't change anything if that became the case. If that was the case. If it does help, great. It's worth a shot. Even if you need to keep doing it every time you plan to visit your parents' house? There's no proof that this stuff works. And encountered. Maybe not. But there's still something to be said for it. Even outside of the new Ouija stuff. People used to smudge or cleanse their homes before moving into them as a ritual to get rid of any old stuff, and as a way to bless the house or something like that. How do you know that? Emily asked, just curious about that little nugget of knowledge that her friend provided. You mentioned you were going to do it. You were going to... You mentioned your plan. I looked into it. It's actually got quite the history and controversy. Because it doesn't work. No, because sage isn't usually thickly harvested. So it causes problems. Oh, excuse me, dang it. Oh, I think I did good. Holding off any yawns until this late. Go me. No, because sage isn't usually ethically harvested, so it causes problems. No, because it isn't usually ethically harvested, so it causes for the growers and communities that rely on sage. There's something like that. Great. Emily handled. Get a nightmare about dangerously harvested smudging grass. A snicker came from the other side of the phone. Ah! Let's lock the phone. That'd be an interesting nightmare to have. That'd be an interesting nightmare to have. Certainly a unique one. Great. You can have it, thanks. I actually don't mind. Mallory stated offhandedly. I don't get them frequently, but they don't bother me. When I do get them, I could take one off of your hands, I would. Great. So what so come Christmas time, you can come down in my place, and I'll go pretend to be you and visit your parents. Nice try. Scrolling up. Oh, excuse me. Was worth a shot. Just like smudging is. Mallory kept the conversation on the topic at hand, and I did call her to vent about the surprise non-ritual circle that apparently did not inhabit the underside of the bed. Fine. Emily conceded. Excuse me. Conceded. The shake of her head. I'll get it smudged. I'll get it smudged before dinner. I'll let you know how it goes when I get back there tomorrow night. Or you could sit. No, at Sprouts. No, pause. No, play. Mute. Skip. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I feel like taking the time to pause actually kills more time than just going ahead and skipping it does. That's funny. On this browser on YouTube, I've got an ad to download Google Chrome. Alright, anyway, back to what I was doing. Fine, Emily conceded with a shake of her head. I'll get the room smudged before dinner. Or you could shoot me a text tomorrow when you wake up. Are you sure? The 3. Yeah, 3 in the morning. She could imagine Mallory shaking her head to the other side of the phone. See, that's why you come to me for advice. Why I'd be a terrible person to call in the middle of the night. See. See, that's why I make both a terrible and a great choice for a person to call in the middle of the night. My phone doesn't. My phone won't wake me up. They're no fun. Emily teased. And she could hear Mallory's laughter on the other side of the line. Oh, pick me up. You'll message me. Oh. Be like, I'm saying that. I'm the most stick in the mud friend you'll ever have. Mallory declared boldly, "Where do you like it out of me?" Maybe the real curse was you all along. Hey. Both girls ended up giggling at the exchange. No, but for real. Emily. Emily finally brought the conversation back to the topic. I don't know why I'm getting these nightmares. And I'm very, very sure that it's not psychological. It's just paranormal. Mallory finished the thought for her. I don't want to use that word, but I guess it's the closest thing I've got. Yep. Oh, I haven't looked at my chat in a minute. Okay, nothing new. Alright. But I guess it's the closest thing I've got. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the labels or the lies. Just try what you can to get it taken care of. Who knows? Maybe the placebo effect will be enough to go away. Emily frowned for a moment. Once Mallory mentioned the placebo effect, the same thing she used to convince her mother to not worry about her visiting a shop, a crystal shop, in her efforts to resolve the matter. At the time, only hours ago, she was convinced it had something.
People just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Allstate ad. Only hours ago she was convinced it had something to do with her space beneath her bed. That only something from a spirit medium could cure it. Could cute it! Now, she wasn't so sure. Still, she was right earlier, and Mallory is right now. If the placebo effect, if she could get even as much as the placebo effect place, she could go ahead. She could literally rest easy. Alrighty. I'm out of water. It's fine though. It's fine. Okay. So here's where we've got issues. I'm not going to like go through this much anymore with her because obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously, but basically I don't have plans for that. But do I want to do a next day sequence with her like I did with this day? So basically we wrap up here, or do I want to do an overnight sequence and then do a wrap-up sequence? I mean, the story is at 23,000 words. Goal's 25,000, but honestly the goal's finish the story. So debating. Yep, we're going to go ahead and, at the very least, start the next chapter. You know what I'm going to do? The writing wisdom is usually it's better to take away than it is to add. So I'm going to do a dream sequence type thing. Spoiler alert. This agent doesn't work. And then we will do the wrap-up chapter. I'm stretching right now, don't mind me. Okay. Okie dokie, artichoke. I'm trying to think up what I want to do for the dream sequence, so apologies for the pause. I know kind of how I want to start it, but not quite how that was weird. Not where I want to travel through. I'm looking at various things here and there, so don't mind me. Trying to get little bits of inspo. Okay, got an idea. Kind of. I got enough of an idea. How about that? Alright. So, chapter 18.
When migraine strikes,
No!
do you question the trade-offs of treating? With Ubrelvy,
Alright. So on to. The smoke was thick. Thicker than Emily had anticipated it being. She waved her arms in front of her. As she coughed, trying to turn her head away from the thick, earthy fumes. She could not see anywhere around her. She could not see her surroundings. A moment ago, she was in her room, safe and sound. And then all it took was the light of that bundle of sage. It flared up and was instantly consumed, causing this causing the air to become thick with this smoke. Scrolling up so I have the full page. There we go. Alternating between trying to hold her breath and coughing the smoke away from her lung. Getting smoke out of her mouth. Emily decided the best bet would be to find her way and out of the house. Blindly, she moved from her bed toward the doorway, and found herself in the upstairs hallway of her home. Everything was still shrouded in the smoke as it poured heavily from her room and emptied and as it poured heavily from her room to fill up all of the clean air, to displace all of the clean air that was safe to breathe in her family house, in her childhood home. She could hear her mother call for her from their bedroom, from her parents' bedroom. Her father's voice billowed from the downstairs living room. A tone of worry carried with the question. Anger dripping in his voice. The young woman paused, frozen, as she determined which route she should take. Should she go help her mother? Should she go to her mother, who was concerned about something, likely the smoke? Or should she go to her father and... I don't want to use the word assuage. And help him and stop and reduce any anger. Oh, I'm not using the right words here. I'll keep it as this and then go back to edit. That might be consuming him. They kept calling for her. Sorry, I wanted to check something real quick. Nothing new. Okay. They kept calling for her more and more insistently with each passing moment. Right now, her mother needs her the most. Her father would probably be furious when she finally got down to him. But it would be okay. She'd have her mother with her. And they... Dang it!
But because
Oh, I don't want to hear that. Oh, that was political. I'm glad I paused that. Oh, goodness gracious. Right now, her mother seemed to need her the most. Father would probably be furious when she finally got down to them, but it would be okay. She'd have her mother. They, and together, they could help. Allay any frustration he might have. Mom? Turning, walking down the hallway past the stairwell to her parents' room. The door was closed. And seemed to be of a thicker wood material than she remembered it being. Maybe it was the smoke that was making it seem different. Her mother's voice, insistent and worried only moments ago, now came on the other side of the door as weak and terrified. Confused but determined not to let her mother suffer in any way. She pushed the door open. It was massive and took all of the strength she could muster to push inward. But once she finally got it open, she found herself standing in the middle of a large circular room. Large circular room. There were cages. Ooh, cages of wrought iron. That practically lined the room on both the floor and hanging from chains from the ceiling. Mom? Emily asked again. Horror filling her body. The cages all had people in them, but none of them were standing or sitting. None of them were moving. And that's what there were cages that lined. There was no exit door or any indicator of how Emily found herself in that room. Mom? But none of them were moving. Here. Mary Jo's voice was even softer on this side of the door. Emma was able to find a way, was able to discern where it came from, and wandered toward that section of the room. The spoilers. The cages on this side. Alright, muting. Do. Well, video will play after ad. Okay, cool. The cages on the side of the room were no different than any. There we go. Than any of the other cages. Motionless humanoid figures just lay within, oftentimes with limbs hanging out of the openings, if they could fit them through. Between the cages were skeletons, as if purged from the inhabited cages, as the flesh fell away. Between the cages were skeletons, piled up in a way that suggested that whomever that suggested that whenever something was added. Someone was added to the cage. The whatever remains were previously there were shoved to the side. Yeah, and obviously this is not that scary of a description. However violently they needed to be. Mom? Emily carefully looked over the cages, close to where she had heard her mother's last whisper, looking for her body. Here, her mother's voice came again. Again whispered. Emily blinked, scanning the area again. Nice, scrolling up. And then blinked again. When she realized she might have just found her. Was that you? Just the fractured skull. A fractured skull, unattached to anything else. Willed its jaw open to let out another whisper. It's me. Emily held her mother's skull in her hands delicately. What happened? Emily. Her father's booming voice echoed in the chamber and forced the chained cages to swing violently back and forth. Did she not hear his calling before now? Did she not hear his calling after she decided before now? He waited until he found his wife, until Mary Jo was found. It didn't matter. Coming! Emily called obediently. There was now a circular stairwell in the middle of the room, where Emily had been standing only moments before. The young woman carefully carried from. Ooh, that is terrible spelling. Yes, thank you.
There's something about the people of Florida that makes us go the
Blah blah blah. You know what? I'm gonna keep this sound muted. I'm just gonna stop the playing because we're gonna be ending in a few minutes anyway. So, yeah. Alright, so where were we? There was now a circular stairwell in the living room where Emily had been standing alone. Carefully carried her mother's skull in one hand. Skull cradled in the crook of one arm and held the banister of the circular stairwell with her other and began her journey? Yeah, we'll say journey. And began to work her way down. At the bottom of the stairs stood her father, larger than any tree she had ever seen before, except he was transformed, except he was much different than the man she grew up with. He was taller than any tree she had ever seen before, and his skin was a hot, angry red color. He still wore his regular polo shirt and jeans, but he looked so devilish. But he looked so much like a demon, with just the size and color changes. Emily, he bellowed again, the entire world shaking around them. It was at that moment that the young woman realized that he should have been in the household living room, or they should have been in some sort of building. Right now, they're in the middle of the woods. No buildings in sight. She reassured him. Dad, I'm here. Be safe now. He started laughing. As if taking his lead, the skull in the crook of Emily's arm also began to laugh. There's no safety. The skull mocked Emily in a voice that somehow resembled a mockery from Mother's voice. That was enough to startle the young woman. Dropping the skull ground and shattering it into dust. All laughter ceased. The entire forest around them seemed to erupt into laughter. There's no safety. Home walked Emily in a voice that resembled her mother's voice, a distorted version of her mother's voice. That was enough to startle the young woman, dropping the skull to the ground. All laughter immediately ceased. You killed her. The red giant version of her father accused Emily. No, she just fell. She was in your hands, just like her. No, Emily pleaded, shaking her head. I was scared. How do you think she felt? You betrayed her trust. No. This chapter is turning out to be a lot more hard-hitting than I expected it to be. I like it. I should also wrap up. I'll finish this chapter and then wrap up. Probably a few more paragraphs. You betrayed her trust and allowed her to fall like that. She must have been terrified. Terrified, knowing that her next impact would be her last. Dad, why? Emily pleaded, tears running down her face. I'm sorry. You're sorry? He boomed incredulously. Show you what it's like to be sorry. A massive red hand swung through the air, aiming directly at great Emily. That was a dream sequence I didn't quite anticipate. I was just going to do like the whole decapitated skeleton thing, except reverse, a skeleton without the head. That I love writing. I love it when stories take you to these places. It's weird and wild, and I love it. All right, guys. With that, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you all for those who dropped a line in the chat. I greatly appreciate it. For the YouTube viewers, you can go ahead and stop watching now. If you do want to support me, though, you can go to my Ko-fi link in the description below. Throw some dollars or memberships or commissions or whatever my way. You don't have to, but it would be nice if you did. Also, like and subscribe, all the regular YouTube reminders. Twitch viewers, when I wrap up the stream, we will go to the offline page and there will be about 3 minutes worth of ads. You can leave if you want, but if you want to support, you can go ahead and stick around for those 3 minutes. Also, if you don't currently follow, you can go ahead and follow, and again, the Ko-fi link is down below. As always, thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!
side of you. So